Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I am Ashley. I'm a homeschooling mom with 7 kiddos. I wanted to do a quick video today about kindergarten math. So we have talked before about in other kindergarten videos that my kindergartner is kind of a mix of preschool and kindergarten combined. And so I have different curriculum that I'm using depending on and just kind of based on how well he picks up things and how quickly. Some things he picks up really quickly, and some things it's taking a little bit more repetitiveness for him to grasp these things. So I currently use the Good and the Beautiful for him. I use the level K. We have been using the level K. It is no secret that I have dabbled in all kinds of math curriculum, especially for my oldest, who is currently in 7th grade. I like the Good and the Beautiful math. I really do. My 4th grader does well with it. For the most part, I have kind of complained a little bit that it can be kind of lengthy in the, like at the end of the lesson, in the review aspect of it, which is fine if you feel like your child needs practice in a certain area. My older two are okay with that, as far as like repeating things and just practicing and stuff. But my younger kids, obviously their attention span is a little bit shorter, and you don't need to spend as much time doing these concepts with them in the younger grades if they grasp it. It's kind of my mentality is to keep it fun but short. So the Good and the Beautiful math has like games and things like that mixed in. It has the little box for their grades, that for kinder and first at least, that have the little manipulatives and things like that. That's great. But I think I need something a little bit simpler, at least for him. I'm not quite sure with my 1st grader. As I'm starting to think of curriculum choices and things like that for next year, I'm thinking about her. But for my kindergartner, I feel like it needs to be a little bit simpler. When he puts his mind to something, he's very good at it. He has picked up these letters quickly. I love their curriculum with the preschool and the one I'm about to do, actually kind of in between curriculum as far as language arts goes. For math, he has done really well with it. However, because we don't spend a whole lot of time doing the entire like review part of the lesson, he loses the attention. His attention span just kind of goes away with math. I feel like he needs something a little bit simpler. Like, here is your quick lesson. Let's go over it. Do you know it? Okay, move on to the next. It's no secret that, like I said, I try so many different things. We have tried Horizons in the past. And ironically, with my 1st grader, I thought it wasn't engaging enough. And again, that's just an example of how your kids' personalities are also different and their learning styles are also different, that you might not have the same curriculum for a kindergartner and a 1st grader, and you might think, oh yeah, they're around the same age, they should be good with the same curriculum, and this will make it easy for me. And that's not always the case. Like I said, I am still thinking about 1st grade, and obviously, I'm thinking of all the grades, but 1st grade as far as what I'm going to do with her. But specifically for kindergarten, I think I am going to try, and this is crazy because some people might think it's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. But switching, this is towards the end of the year, obviously. I have also said that the Good and the Beautiful, I feel like, is a level above in math too. But he has picked up on it so well that I haven't really thought too much of it. but I want him to be able to master these things in a more simpler way, and a more straightforward way, instead of the extra stuff that comes with this curriculum. So I am going to, we have been doing kind of what we've known up to this point. I am going to purchase the Kindergarten Horizons, which we have tried before and we have used before, math curriculum. How I do this, because I have done this before, switching mid-year, switching after the midway mark, is I will buy, because it's very reasonably priced, I buy it off Amazon usually, unless I have a bulk order that I get off Christian Books. I will typically buy it off Amazon. They have two, part 1 and part 2. I don't know how, I think for all grades they have part 1 and part 2. I will purchase the part 1, and I will see, we will not start at the beginning. I know that because he knows quite a bit. I will look at where we're at, and if we don't need the first one, I'm going to keep it. If we don't need the first one and we are on to the second book, then I will purchase a second book. But I want to kind of look at it and see, kind of test him and feel the waters and see where we're at in the realm of the Horizons world. I guarantee you we will either be towards the end of book 1, if not at book 2. We should be. But I might still use that kind of as review to kind of get his confidence up and let him know that, hey, we know this already. We're just going to practice this a little bit to kind of familiarize with the curriculum. And that is what I also wanted to point out, is that when you switch curriculums this far into the year, know that the teaching styles obviously are not going to be the same. Now, with that being said, we have not done all of the games in The Good and the Beautiful. We have not done all of the extra stuff in The Good and the Beautiful. Some things I'll say, okay, do this problem out of 5 or 2 out of 5, and let's see if you know it. If so, we'll keep going. And so when you switch curriculums, I already know how Horizons looks. I know how it looks. I know how it's presented because we've used it before. But if it is a curriculum that you are just trying out, that you don't know how your child is going to respond to this teaching style that they have, all curriculums are different. And so, the layouts, even that, they might expect games, or they might expect certain things that this new curriculum does not have. Give them a chance to get used to it and see if they like it better. Some kids don't like change. Some adults don't like change. And even teaching it might be hard for you to do that transition from one curriculum to the next. So take a look at it first before you even present it to the child. Make sure that you know how, what it looks, and explain to them, this is what the lesson looks like. It's shorter or it's longer in some cases, but this one is, I know these are shorter. We're going to get through this quicker, and that will set the child up for knowing what they are coming into. So my plan, like I said, is to, unless I can see on their website, I'm not positive, but I still want to show it to him and kind of overlap a little bit. I do want to overlap. I don't want to come into this curriculum with him starting on a concept that he does not know and he is not familiar with. So I think my plan will be to purchase the first book and go back a little bit and make sure that we are starting at a point that he already knows what to do, but not so far back that we're starting from the beginning. Obviously, I don't want to do that, and I don't recommend starting from the beginning, because obviously if you've done any work this year, you will be at least close to the halfway point, if not past that, at this point in time. So that is what I plan to do, and then I will continue on. Now, how will I finish before the end of the year? I will not finish by the end of the year. That is not my concern. Um, he is very, um, if he gets bored, he'll say, I'm going to go get my workbook. I'm going to go get my schoolwork. And he doesn't quite understand the concept of summer, you not having to do school in summer unless you're doing like workbooks. You not having to do this during the summer. You don't have to. This is just extra. If you get bored, here's a workbook, or here's a, now I have specific summer workbooks that I recommend and that I do. And I will do a new video. I will link the video that I used. I think I did one for last summer, or maybe it was a haul that I bought, like their summer, workbooks, activity books, and they would do that most days in the morning before they did anything else, just to kind of keep things fresh and stuff. But if he's the type where if he gets bored, he'll pull out a workbook and start tracing letters, or he'll start writing things, and it's just how his mind works, and that's totally fine. So I'm just kind of going to go with it, and I'm going to do what we finish up till, usually we're done the end of May, usually if not before Memorial Day, right at Memorial Day. And I'm going to see where we're at then, and then I'm just going to kind of play it by ear. I'm not going to stress out about it. If we don't continue on, I will probably continue through the summer as far as just it being his workbook, his summer workbook. And then I can kind of kill two birds with one stone. I can finish that up in the summer and then be ready for the first grade level as it relates to math at the beginning of this next school year. So if you are in the same boat and you realize towards the end of the year that your child is maybe not doing as well as we thought we are doing in a certain curriculum, feel free to change it. Don't stress out about it. Don't start from the beginning. Look, and you will have to do some investigating and some research and look and see where they are at. What point are we at in the new curriculum? And you will have to look and kind of see, and it might be where you have to kind of test the waters and say, is this something you can do? Can you do these problems? Let's see. If they can, we're probably fine. Let's keep going. But do not feel like you have to finish a curriculum. I see it as a continuous circle. You are going in a continuous circle, and you are trying to finish, but you don't have to finish that particular grade. I know plenty of people that keep going. Now, granted, a lot of times they do year round, which is fine, and you can kind of mix that. You can kind of, like I said, say, hey, you're bored, let's do your workbook, which, like I said, they're kind of used to anyway because I have them do some stuff like that in the summer. But I will be getting some new books, and I'm not positive what is available for my incoming 8th grader. That's something I'm going to have to research. But I am looking forward to kind of looking into that and seeing what is available for him. But as it relates to kindergarten especially, because it does not need to be so rigid and so structured. And I think too many people, especially coming from public school, and that is a mentality that I had to kind of break, was it being more play-based and more fun and not so rigid curriculum. I want to make sure they are doing what they should be doing and mastering what they should be mastering. But like I said, if you want to change things, you can change things. That is the beauty of this. You can change things whenever you want. Sometimes it's not ideal. And obviously, if you're working with upper grades, middle school grades, that's going to be harder. But when you're working with littles and kindergarten, first grade, things like that, it's really not the end of the world. And you just kind of learn to go with it, like life, right? So let me know if you have had a similar experience towards the end of the school year, if it is something that you have dealt with for any curriculum or any age group. Another thing I was going to mention was, for the older grades, they will tell you pretty quickly, like, hey, I don't like this curriculum. I don't like how I don't like this learning style. I don't like how they're teaching it. This is hard. Can we try something else? My kids are pretty good at telling me that. Sometimes I will say, let's try and stick with it. And sometimes that works. And usually it works because sometimes it's just a matter of getting used to a curriculum if we are new with it. But for the little kids, they don't know any different. And, they're not going to be able to tell you, or, I mean, they might like to say, I hate math, or I hate reading, or whatnot, which obviously you have to do that anyway. But as far as a curriculum choice, they're not going to tell you that. And so it is up to you to kind of look and see. And that's the hard part of this also, is being kind of their advocate and figuring out, is this too hard of a curriculum? Is this difficult? Are we struggling? Do I need to change? Even though it might be uncomfortable to change this far along into the year, can we do that? Yes, you can. You can. I can tell you that. So let me know down below if you have experienced this, or if you are struggling with a certain grade, subject, etc. Just know that you are not alone, because I am dealing with it right now, and we are mid-April. So anyway, let me know down below, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.